You know, for decades, there's been one rivalry in tech that stands above all others: Apple versus Microsoft. But the old battlegrounds, desktops, operating systems, that's ancient history. The new frontier, the one that's going to define everything for the next generation, is artificial intelligence. So, where does this classic showdown stand today?
So let's get right to the heart of it, based on some great analysis by Omar IE for Money Morning. In this brand new AI war, who's actually winning? It's a super high stakes game that could honestly reshape the entire tech world as we know it.
We're going to start with a company that has come out absolutely swinging. See, in this new era, Microsoft isn't that old, slow-moving giant anymore. No, they are the fast-moving aggressor, and they've launched an all-out AI onslaught.
And the analysis we're digging into here doesn't pull any punches. It says, flat out, that Microsoft has been the clear winner lately. Those huge bets they made on AI, they're not just paying off, they're actually speeding up. What's so fascinating about Microsoft's strategy is that AI isn't just some separate thing for them. It's like a supercharger for the empire they already have. They're weaving it right into Windows, into the Office suite that everyone has to use, and they're using tools like Copilot to give them even more pricing power. It's a really brilliant move. And this isn't just hype. The strategy is delivering some serious results. Microsoft's revenue shot up 18% year over year. I mean, that crushed what the analysts were expecting. And it just proves this AI momentum is the real deal. Now, a huge engine for that growth is the cloud. Microsoft's Azure platform grew at an absolutely astonishing 39%. To put that in perspective, that's more than double the rate of its biggest rival, Amazon's AWS. This is where that enterprise AI battle is really being won right now. And of course, the market sees all this potential. Microsoft stock is trading at a high premium, which basically means investors are betting big that this aggressive, AI-fueled growth isn't just a flash in the pan. It's the new reality for the company. Okay, so that's Microsoft, the aggressor. But what about the other titan in this fight? If Microsoft is the challenger, then Apple is the fortress, an absolute juggernaut with power that is just unparalleled. And Apple's power? Well, it all starts with this one, just staggering number, 2.2 billion. That's how many active Apple devices are out there in the world. This isn't just a user base. It's a massive, incredibly loyal and wealthy ecosystem that, frankly, no other company on Earth can even touch. But when you look at their recent financials, the story gets a little more complicated. I mean, sure, the core businesses, iPhone and services, are growing strong. But you see these declines in iPad and wearables revenue, and it kind of suggests the fortress might have a few small cracks starting to appear. And that brings us to the core criticism laid out in the source material. The author points out that Apple has seemed, well, kind of reluctant on AI. Their progress feels like it's years behind their competitors. The whole strategy seems to be about selling more hardware to the same people, which, carries a very real risk of stagnation down the road. And yet, its stock is almost as expensive as Microsoft's. So what gives? Well, the author's take is that with Apple, you're not really paying for growth. You're paying what they call a safety premium, a bet that its enormous cash flow and those super loyal customers provide a safe harbor, even if growth starts to slow down. Okay, so we've seen the two sides of the story: Microsoft, the AI aggressor, and Apple, the stable fortress. So now let's put them head to head for the showdown and really dig into the numbers. So check this out. When you lay the numbers out side by side, something really interesting pops out. Their valuations, yeah, they're very similar, but the huge difference is in expected growth. Microsoft is projected to grow way faster, both this year and next, while Apple's growth is actually expected to slow down. And this really gets to the core argument of our source, right? It's all about what kind of premium you think you're paying. With Microsoft, you're paying a growth premium, betting on its AI-fueled future. With Apple, you're paying a safety premium for the stability of its empire. Two very, very different bets for two very similar price tags. So, after laying out all the evidence, where does our source material actually land in this epic showdown? Okay, let's get to the author's final verdict. And the call is about as unambiguous as it gets. When forced to choose between these two giants right now, the author of our source article picks Microsoft. So, why Microsoft? What's the thinking here? Well, it boils down to this. It's just seen as more innovative right now, with a much clearer path to faster, more sustainable growth. Its core business is a rock-solid foundation, even without all the AI hype. And it has less exposure to some of those geopolitical risks like tariffs.
And that brings us to our final thought here. The author has made a really compelling case for Microsoft's momentum right now. But let's be honest, this story is far from over. And it leaves us with this one huge question for the future. Is Microsoft's lead in AI a permanent advantage? Or is Apple's 2.2 billion device ecosystem just a sleeping giant, waiting for that perfect moment to wake up and completely change the game all over again?